Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're here for the first time. My name is Bailey and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about romance books that I recommend. I'm going to be telling you guys 5 romance books that I really love and that I think that you should read. I think I'm going to go in order of the ratings that I gave them. So I have 3 4-star books and 2 5-star books. I've really been in my romance reading era right now. I have just been really loving it. Currently, I'm reading a book called The One by, I think his name is John Mars, and it is very scary and creepy, and it's making me miss my romance books, so I'm ready to get back to them. But romance, I feel like I have learned, is definitely my favorite genre. I really loved thrillers there for a bit, but there's just nothing like the feel-good, romancy vibe. I'm pretty sure I read all of these books on my Kindle, so I don't have the physical copy of them. I feel like it's so satisfying, like, to hold it up. But I'll put a picture here of each one so you can see what the cover looks like. But yeah, I have a little list on my phone that I'm referencing if you see me look down. Without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and hop into the books that I recommend. Number 1 is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I gave it 4 stars. I think I would stay solid on 4.0 stars, and it is just such a cute story about this girl named Liz. She lost her mom when she was younger, but her mom always loved watching rom-coms, and so Liz would watch them with her mom. And now Liz really just romanticizes her life. She kind of goes through life like she's in a rom-com, like she's the main character. She's always wearing beautiful dresses, has her makeup all done, hair done and everything. She gets news when she's in high school about this guy Michael moving back into town, and Michael was Liz's crush all throughout her childhood. She was obsessed with him. Meanwhile, Liz's neighbor, his name is Wes, they're enemies. They're always butting heads and they're always just like playing tricks on each other. But Wes is good friends with Michael. So Liz asks Wes to help her get Michael to ask Liz to prom in exchange for this parking spot that Wes and Liz always fight over. So you basically go through like what that looks like, Wes helping her get Michael to ask her to prom, and it's just so cute. It is a rom-com, and I feel like it's well done. While I love romance, I don't normally like really cheesy rom-coms, like ones that are just so silly and unrealistic. So I feel like this did not have that element. It was just so cute and so fun. I loved the whole story. I wanted more at the end. That was my only hang up with it. It is a closed door romance, so yeah, I really loved it. And if you've read any of these books or plan to, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on them. The second book that I recommend is Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. I don't know what people's hang up is with her and why they don't like her. I don't understand where the hate comes from. I really love Colleen Hoover books. I feel like they are so easy to read. First of all, she said in an interview that she doesn't use words that you don't normally talk with, which I really appreciate, because it's like, I don't want to have to be looking up words every second. Easy to read. They're super, super quick to get through. I guess those kind of go hand in hand. But also there's always like a mystery and always something, not necessarily like a mystery book, but there's always like something that you don't know that really carries you to the end and gets you hooked in her books. So I had to throw in at least one of her books, and Heartbones I gave another solid 4.0 stars. This follows a girl named Bea who tragically and suddenly loses a family member, so she has to go live with her dad. She never has really seen her dad growing up, and so it's kind of like weird, and she goes and lives with him and his wife, his new wife, and their stepdaughter at this like amazing beach house. And her dad is like super rich and wealthy, and Bea is not. She comes from a very poor home. She has had hardly anything growing up. She meets this guy, Samson, who is her neighbor, or her dad's neighbor, and they seemingly have nothing in common, yet there's a connection there. And I'm not really going to say much more. I feel like that doesn't give very much of the story away, but there's like an element of mystery to it, and obviously an element of romance, and I just really liked the story. I liked the summer vibes, but it wasn't just like this perfect happy romance. And so yeah, it was really good and I really enjoyed reading it. The next book that I recommend is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I do have the physical copy of this, but I gave it to my aunt to read. She actually just texted me and said that she just finished it yesterday. She loved it so much, definitely 4 stars, maybe even 4.5. And that makes me so happy because I gave this book 4.25 stars. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, maybe it's higher. But for now, I'm sticking with 4.25. This book follows Harriet and Wynne. So in college, Harriet and Wynne met each other and there was just an immediate connection. They started dating after knowing each other for around a year, and now in the present time, they had dated for 8 years and they broke up 6 months ago, but they haven't told any of their friends. In college, they had a friend group, and every year they would go to this cottage in Maine, and it was like by the beach, and it was an annual beach trip they would take every summer. Since they haven't told their friends, they're now having to share a bedroom at this cottage. They're basically having to fake date while they're there, just pretending that they're still together. And it's not like a rom-com, like it's not cute. It's actually really sad because you get a then and now perspective. So the now is them having to fake date at this cottage, having to spend the whole week and weekend together. And it's really sad because in the then perspective, you're getting when they first met each other, when they first started having feelings for each other, when they first started dating, like their relationship, and you're just getting taken through their relationship and basically what led to the breakup. And then in the present, you're just like so sad because you want them to be together, but you don't know why they're not together, and it's just sad because you can tell like there's some lingering feelings and there's just so much hurt and so many things unsaid. Yeah, I just really loved this book. It was so realistic, and I just feel like this might be a lot of couples' stories. I feel like their love was just really simple. It wasn't anything crazy like in the movies. So yeah, I really love this. See, the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, maybe it's 4.5. Okay, on to my 5-star romance books. So these 2 books, I still think about them all the time. Even though they're 5 stars, there's one that I like more than the other. So I'm going to talk about the lesser of the 2 first, and then the best one the last. Obviously saving the best for the last. So the first of my 5-star ratings is The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. This book is just so cute. It is a rom-com, but again, it's not like, there are some cheesy parts for sure. It's just so freaking cute and I love it so much. Like, I just have the best vibes thinking about it. Basically, this story follows Bree and Nathan, who have been friends since they were kids. Bree is a dance teacher while Nathan is the star quarterback. You get both of their perspectives. So you get Bree's perspective and Nathan's perspective. It starts out with Bree, and she's just head over heels in love with Nathan, but she can't tell him because she doesn't want to ruin the friendship. And so it kind of goes through like their friendship. It takes you through a few months of their friendship, and they end up having to fake date, and it is just so cute. Please read it. I know you will not regret it. I love this book so much. The last book, and my favorite book of all time as of now, is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. This book is so good. This book follows Elliot and Macy, and so basically Macy lost her mom when she was really young, and so it's just been her and her dad. She's an only child, and her dad bought this cabin, and they would go stay at this cabin for like holidays and vacations and stuff. And Elliot actually lives next to the cabin, and so Macy and Elliot meet when they're, I think, like 12 or 13, and they just immediately become friends. And Elliot's kind of like a nerd. They both love reading and learning, and so Macy has this closet in her house, but I imagine like it's kind of a big closet and they use it as a library, and so she and Elliot just go and hang out in there, and like it's not sketchy the way that it sounds to hang out in a closet. They just go and they read. You get a perspective of then and now. So now is Elliot and Macy 12 years later. It's Macy's perspective, and she sees Elliot in like a coffee shop or something, a little cafe, and she tries to dodge him, but he comes to her. They start to like kind of reconnect and rekindle their friendship, but you find out that Macy has completely cut off all contact with Elliot for the past 12 years. The now perspective, I think, is when they're like 29 or 30, something like that. And the then perspective you get from when they're like 13 to 19 or somewhere around there, 13 to 18. So in the then perspective, you're basically just getting like their friendship and how it grows and how they develop feelings for each other. And then something happens and you have no idea what this thing is that happened, but something happened 12 years ago from the present 12 years ago. You don't know what it is, but whatever happened is what caused Macy to cut off connection with Elliot. And it just doesn't really make sense because you can just tell like there's lingering feelings there, and she just like won't talk to him. She can't be honest with him. She can't be honest with herself, and it's actually like kind of heartbreaking. But the end, it was a shocker for sure. Like it took me by surprise. I did not guess what the thing was. And so yeah, you should definitely read Love in Other Words. So I forgot to mention this, but in the ones that I've said, Heartbones does have spice, Happy Place does, Better Than the Movies doesn't, The Cheat Sheet doesn't, and Love in Other Words does. So just in case that is important to you, wanted to mention that. But that is all my romance book recommendations. Please let me know if you read any, and let me know if you have any additional recommendations for me, because I'm all ears. I'm ready to read any romance books you suggest. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, and I'm so thankful for you being here, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!